challenge yourself to be happy. Happiness isn't something that just happens to you. It's not luck. It's not a gift. It's a daily decision. It's a challenge. Yes, you heard that right. You have to challenge yourself to be happy. Because happiness doesn't come when everything is perfect. It comes when you decide to look for the light, even in the middle of the storm. We live in a world where it's so easy to be unhappy. We compare ourselves, we chase what others have, and we forget that joy is an inside job. Every day, your mind will find a reason to complain, a reason to doubt, a reason to delay joy. But that's where your challenge begins. Can you find a reason to smile anyway? Can you choose gratitude when life feels unfair? Can you choose peace when everything around you is chaotic? Can you choose to love yourself when the world gives you every reason not to? That's what happiness really is, the courage to choose it again and again, no matter what life brings. When you challenge yourself to be happy, you stop waiting for someday. You stop saying, I'll be happy when I get that job, that car, that love. You start saying, I'll be happy now because I'm alive, I'm learning, I'm growing. Happiness doesn't live in the next milestone. It lives in this very moment. Right here, right now. And you know what's beautiful? Once you start choosing happiness, your energy shifts. You attract better people, better opportunities, better outcomes, because joy is magnetic. People feel it. The universe feels it. But let's be honest, happiness is not always easy. It's not always natural. Some days it's a fight. On those days, challenge yourself a little more. Remind yourself that your mind may not want to smile, but your soul does. Remind yourself that peace is not the absence of pain, it's the presence of perspective. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every loss teaches you something about what happiness really means. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about believing that you'll be fine no matter what happens. So challenge yourself to smile more. Challenge yourself to forgive. Challenge yourself to see beauty in the small things, in morning light, in laughter, in silence. Challenge yourself to celebrate how far you've come instead of focusing on how far you have to go. Because when you do, life starts to feel lighter. Not because it changed, but because you did. You're not meant to survive your days. You're meant to feel them. You're meant to be alive in every moment, even the hard ones. That's real happiness. It's not passive, it's powerful. So today, make that promise to yourself. I will not wait for happiness. I will create it. I will live it. I will be it. Because the greatest challenge you'll ever face is choosing to be happy in a world that constantly tells you not to be. And when you can do that, you've already won. Happiness is a daily choice, not a condition. It's not something that arrives when your problems disappear or when life finally gives you a break. It's something you decide consciously, courageously every single day. The truth is, no one's life is perfect. Behind every smile you see, there's a story, a struggle, a lesson. And that's what makes the decision to be happy so powerful, because it's not about denying your pain. It's about deciding that your pain will not define your peace. There are days when the weight of life feels heavy, when things don't go as planned, when people disappoint you, when you feel unseen or misunderstood. In those moments, your mind will whisper that happiness is impossible, that joy belongs to people who have it easier. But that's the lie that keeps most people stuck. Happiness isn't a reward for those who have perfect lives. It's the courage of those who choose to see beauty even in brokenness. It's not about ignoring the dark. It's about ignoring the dark. It's about finding the light. It's about deciding where we're going to go. Every morning, you get to decide the tone of your day. Before the world demands your attention, before life throws its noise at you, there's a sacred moment where you can say, today I will look for reasons to be grateful. Because happiness doesn't come from what's happening around you. It grows from what's happening within you. You train your mind to see what matters, to focus on what's working instead of what's missing. Some people wait for happiness like it's a package that's supposed to arrive at their door after the job, after the relationship, after the success. But real happiness doesn't wait for after. It exists during the waiting, during the working, during the healing. It's the small breath between chaos and calm when you whisper to yourself, I'm still here. I'm still trying. That moment, that's happiness. When you start to see happiness as a choice, not a condition, everything changes. You stop blaming life for not giving you joy, and you start realizing that joy was never missing. It was just buried under expectations. You don't need a perfect day to be happy. You need a grateful heart. You don't need approval from others. You need acceptance of yourself. Because happiness is not built on circumstances. It's built on awareness. Awareness of how blessed you already are. Think about it. The happiest people you know are not the ones with the easiest lives. They're the ones who learned how to dance in the rain, how to laugh at their own mistakes, how to find peace in the middle of uncertainty. They've made happiness their discipline. Every morning they wake up and choose it through kindness, through gratitude, through perspective. That's not luck. That's spiritual strength. Choosing happiness daily doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It means acknowledging that not everything will be. It's giving yourself permission to feel your emotions without letting them take over your life. It's looking at what went wrong and still finding one thing that went right. It's refusing to let the temporary shadows of life block the permanent light of your soul. You might not control every event in your life, but you always control the meaning you give to it. You can choose to let challenges harden you or strengthen you. You can choose to see failure as an ending or as a teacher. You can choose to let people's opinions shrink you or awaken you. The power has always been in your choice. That's what happiness is. The practice of directing your energy toward what uplifts you instead of what drains you. And yes, it takes effort. Happiness is not automatic. It's a habit you build. It's the little things you do, the gratitude you practice, the moments you breathe deeply, the times you forgive instead of holding on. It's the quiet voice that says, I still believe in good things, even when you've seen too much bad. It's the daily work of choosing peace over worry, compassion over anger, hope over fear. Some days you'll fail at it. You'll wake up heavy, tired, disconnected. And that's okay, because the choice to be happy isn't a one-time decision. It's a lifelong practice. You can always begin again. Happiness will wait for you to return to it. It never truly leaves. It just waits for you to remember where it lives, inside you. When you start living this truth, you stop chasing happiness as if it's out there, somewhere. And you start nurturing it like a garden inside your heart. You realize that even in chaos, you can find calm. Even in sadness, you can find gratitude. Even in endings, you can find beginnings. The more you practice this awareness, the more naturally happiness flows. So each morning when you rise, remind yourself, Today I will choose joy. Today I will choose peace. Today I will choose to see the good. Because every day offers you a choice to focus on what's missing or to celebrate what's here. And when you choose happiness, not because life is perfect, but because you are strong enough to find beauty anyway, you become unstoppable. Happiness is not a condition that depends on the world being kind. It's a decision that comes from the strength of your spirit. And once you learn to make that choice daily, you don't just live, you thrive. Gratitude and perspective create joy. These two simple attitudes have the power to completely transform how you experience your life. When you begin to choose gratitude over complaint and perspective over perfection, something inside you shifts. You begin to see that joy isn't about having more, it's about seeing more. It's not about what you possess, but about how you perceive what you already have. Life feels richer, not because it changed, but because you did. We spend so much time waiting for happiness, thinking it will appear once life finally meets our expectations. But the truth is, happiness doesn't come from perfect circumstances. It comes from a grateful heart. Gratitude is the lens that turns ordinary days into blessings and struggles into lessons. It softens your view of the world and reminds you that even in the smallest moments, there's something worth appreciating. Think about the mornings when you wake up feeling stressed, thinking about what's missing, what's wrong, what didn't go as planned. Now imagine starting that same morning by acknowledging one thing you're thankful for. The roof above your head, the breath in your lungs, the opportunity to begin again. The situation hasn't changed, but your heart has. That's the quiet miracle of gratitude. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from frustration to peace. Perspective works hand in hand with gratitude. Perspective teaches you to zoom out, to see your life from a wider angle, to understand that what feels like a setback might just be a setup for something greater. It teaches you that you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Perspective is what keeps your heart calm when things go wrong because it whispers, this moment is not the whole story. When you live through gratitude and perspective, you stop chasing perfection. You realize that perfection is an illusion, a trap that steals your peace. You start embracing life for what it is instead of resenting it for what it's not. You see beauty in imperfection, strength in struggle, and purpose in the pain. You stop waiting for everything to line up perfectly before you allow yourself to feel joy. You understand that joy can coexist with difficulty. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending that everything is fine. It means finding one thing that's good, even when many things aren't. It's not about denying your pain. It's about refusing to let pain blind you to the good that still exists. The more you practice gratitude, the more your perspective deepens. You begin to notice the details you used to overlook. The way sunlight warms your skin, the laughter of a friend, the peace of a quiet evening. These moments become reminders that joy is not found in grand achievements, but in simple presence. When you're grateful, you start to attract more reasons to be grateful. Your energy changes. You stop moving through life as if everything is owed to you and start moving as if everything is a gift. You stop comparing your journey to others because you realize that everyone has their own path, their own timing, their own lessons. Gratitude frees you from envy because it teaches you to celebrate what's already yours. Perspective is what helps you understand that not everything is meant to be easy. Some of the hardest seasons of your life will shape you into your most compassionate, resilient self. When you look back, you'll see that the moments you thought would break you were the ones that built you. That's perspective, seeing the storm not as punishment, but as preparation. There will always be things that don't go your way. People will disappoint you, plans will fall apart, and unexpected turns will come. But gratitude and perspective remind you that even in those moments, you still have something to hold on to. You still have lessons, growth, and grace. You can still choose to focus on what remains instead of what's lost. That's how you keep your heart light. When you start practicing gratitude every day, it becomes like a muscle. At first, it takes effort. You have to consciously look for the good. But over time, it becomes natural. You begin to see blessings everywhere. You stop rushing through life, waiting for happiness, and start living inside it. Gratitude becomes your filter, your protection, your power. Perspective takes that gratitude even deeper. It helps you stay grounded when life feels unfair. It teaches you to say, this is hard, but it's not the end. This hurts, but it's helping me grow. This loss isn't empty. It's creating space for something new. That kind of thinking doesn't make life perfect, but it makes you peaceful. Joy is not something you chase. It's something you create. It's born the moment you stop complaining and start appreciating. The moment you stop trying to control everything and start trusting your journey. Every time you choose gratitude, you shift the vibration of your life. You move from resistance to acceptance, from scarcity to abundance. When you begin to live this way, you'll notice that your life doesn't have to change dramatically for you to feel fulfilled. The same routine, the same challenges, the same people, they all begin to feel different because you're seeing them through new eyes. You start to feel lighter, calmer, more connected. You understand that happiness was never hiding in external achievements. It was always waiting inside your perspective. So every day, choose to be grateful for what you have, for what you've learned, even for what didn't work out. Let gratitude steady your heart and let perspective widen your view. Because when your mind is grateful, your soul is joyful. And that kind of joy, the quiet, grounded, unshakable kind, doesn't depend on what's happening around you. It depends entirely on what's happening within you. Stop waiting for someday. That word, someday, is one of the biggest illusions we live under. It keeps us trapped in the idea that happiness is somewhere in the future, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or the perfect version of ourselves. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get there, wherever there is. But life isn't meant to be lived in the waiting room of happiness. The truth is, joy doesn't live in the next chapter of your life. It lives right here in this very moment. So many people spend their entire lives chasing someday. They say, I'll start enjoying life when things settle down. Or, I'll feel proud of myself when I achieve more. But what happens? The goals keep moving, the bar keeps rising, and happiness keeps getting postponed. We forget that life is happening now. Every breath, every sunrise, every conversation is a piece of our story. And if we keep waiting for someday, we miss the beauty that's already unfolding. We have been taught to live for results, not experiences. We measure our worth by what we accomplish rather than how deeply we live. We say, once I make more money, once I lose the weight, once I find love, then I'll be happy. But when you reach that milestone, you realize the satisfaction fades quickly and your mind finds another condition to attach joy to. It becomes a cycle, chasing one finish line after another without ever stopping to celebrate where you are. The secret is understanding that there will never be a perfect moment when everything aligns. There will always be unfinished plans, unanswered prayers, and unexpected turns. But that's not a reason to delay joy. That's the reason to embrace it. Because the beauty of life doesn't come from perfection, it comes from presence. When you stop waiting for everything to be right, you discover that things don't have to be perfect for you to be grateful.